Hi, this is Jen Hare, and I am going to demo a YouTube tutorial that I just found tonight called the Transparent Text Effect. This is just another option for you to use your clipping mask for Module 3. This is the first time. I've only viewed it one time, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. I've jotted down some notes, and then I'm going to kind of demo off of this particular clipping mask or transparent text effect. It's not exactly the same, but just to show you there are so many different things that you can do. Changing the blend modes, changing the different kind of adjustment layers. So I'm in Photoshop and I'm going to go ahead and open up an image that I want to use, and this is a picture that we took of our students in Anaheim for the DECA competition, and obviously you can tell I took it on my cell phone, but we want to use this for social media, so I'm going to make it into a square. This is also a great time to talk about the crop tool. And the crop tool in the tutorial talks about making it into a 19 by 20 by 1080, which would be good for monitors. I'm going to even go in to make it a square, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently, but still using the same tool. So I'm going to go to the fourth tool down on the left-hand side, which is your crop tool. A couple different ways. You can input the different PPIs or go into and put them in manually. Or I'm just going to use the bounding box and guesstimate what it looks like to be almost a square. Now, if you can't get past this section, it's because you have a bounding box. Anytime you see a check mark pop up on the upper right hand corner of your options toolbar, that means you have to commit this operation in order to move forward. So I'm going to click on that check mark, and so now I'm ready to move forward. So that was just a demo of how to crop different pictures. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I don't have my layers, so I'm going to go up to Window, down to Layers, and I'm going to pop this out, and again I'm going to click and drag that lock down to the trash panel so I'm at a fresh layer. If you want to go ahead and do a Command or Control J to copy the layer so that you're not doing anything to the bottom layer, that's great, but we're going to go ahead and hide that for right now so we don't see anything behind. Okay, the first tool we're going to use is we're going to go to the text tool. So I'm going to click on the text tool, and then I'm going to make a huge bounding box, and I have 800 point font. You can tell that's how large my picture is, and I'm not using the particular font that they have in the YouTube tutorial. I'm just using some font with some meat in it, with a little bit of thickness in it. So I have 800 point font. I'm going to then remember anytime that you have that bounding box, you see the check mark pop up, that means you have to commit in order to move forward. So I'm going to commit, and then I'm actually going to move this DECA, which is the acronym for the Marketing Association, which we work with, down. And it looks like I need to be a little bit larger, I think. So I'm going to do a Command or Control T to get a free transform. I could go up to Edit, down to free transform also. And I'm just going to make this slightly larger, just to really fill up that picture, and then move it down a little bit. Okay, so I've gone through Control D. I've made sure my font color is black. It looks like, again, I have a bounding box. If I get a check mark on the upper right hand corner, I'm going to commit that transformation. We're going to take a second to talk about Color Sampler and the color picker. Anytime you see a color box in Photoshop, okay, that will open what's called a color picker. Okay, that's foreground and background. I'm going to cancel that. When I click on the text tool and I have a black color blocks up in the top, that opens up my color picker. If I go up to Window and down to Color, that opens up my color picker. If I go to Swatches, any swatch opens up my color picker. And notice how when I move my cursor, when I'm in my color picker, outside of that bounding box, it turns to an eyedropper. This used to be called an eyedropper tool, but now it's called Color Sampler. So now what that does, and I'm going to move this around so you can see. So once I have my text layer selected, it will change. Sorry, I have to select my text. I have to select my text. So go to the text tool, select the text. Let me cancel this, sorry. Text tool, select the text. Open the color picker. Outside of that, now you'll see that it starts to change to blue. Okay, or I can go pick up the Texas Aggie Burgundy, or I can pick up the white of the sand or the cream of the sand. Okay, but this shows you how you can pick up specific colors. This is great for brand consistency, especially with your school colors. I can even pick up a super light blue. Okay, and then you can tell where that is. If you love that light blue and you're going to use it for several projects, you can do what's called add to swatches. And this is my light blue for basketball poster. So now I have a specific swatch that I don't have to try to go find it again. It's already in my color library now. But for purposes of this YouTube tutorial, we're going to go ahead and fun how this is freezing my computer. So always fun having technical difficulties. So I'm going to pause this and come back for round 2.